Hi guys, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting live. Yes, there's a different view here. Anyways, if you are new to my channel, head down there, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell so you can get notifications when I am live. Don't forget to like and share my videos. So today is still Sew Sunday for me, and it is the 20th, 10/20 still. So October 20th, 2019. I am going to show you guys how to load 2 quilts at the same exact time. So simultaneously, I will be quilting 2 quilts at the same time. Same exact quilting on both quilts. I just figured it'd get done faster doing it this way instead of stitching it on the machine in the house. And I can do both of them at the same time. So what you need, first of all, is a long arm. So I have my computer on the stand out here in hopes that I do not drop it, because unlike my house, there's carpet in the room. Here, it's cement. So if this computer falls, I'm screwed, because this laptop will shatter into a bazillion pieces and stop working. So I need to keep that from happening. I will have my phone here. I can, I'll just walk around with it, but when it comes time, I will put it here. When I come to the stitching part, I will come right here and hook it there so I can see comments. For now, I'm going to do my best to load it on the frame so that you guys can see how 2 quilts go on at one time, as well as when it comes time to stitch, I'll try to bring the camera as close as I can so that you guys can see at least what I'm doing here on YouTube, because normally I don't do these kind of videos on Longarm on YouTube. But I did bring my computer out, and I don't know how long it's going to last. So we'll see. So yeah, let's get to it. First of all, you guys remember me making these? There's 2 of them. I called them twinsies. It was me sewing scraps together. They are 37 by 44, both of them. They're exactly the same, but they're not, because the fabrics are in different places and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to be loading them up and down like most quilts that would be loaded from the top to the bottom. Instead, I'm going to be loading them sideways, which some directional quilts do better with quilting if you load them sideways, depending on the design. So I'm just going to be doing wavy lines on both of them. And if the lines cross over, they cross over. If they don't, they don't. I'm just giving them a wave, but they're going to be a long-wise wave. Second of all, you need your backing fabric. Now for this one, I chose more Winnie the Pooh because it's 2 baby quilts, and since I called them twinsies, I'm making them for twins. Anybody who has twins, that's how I will be selling them, is for twins. So I had to cut a, hold on, I gotta think, like 95 inches of a flannel, and that's in the length, yardage wise. And then, since these aren't as wide as flannel is wide, I will be able to load the selvage along my frame. I will load the selvage ends on both sides, and then load the quilts on sideways. And I cut out some batting, which is also going to be in length. Instead of going from top to bottom, it'll just go from side to side. So there's 90... I think it's 90 inches of that. So, yeah. Hi, Sandy. Looks like you're up with me. Yeah. Well, it's only 9:43 here. So, I will check my phone periodically. But for now, we're going to get started with how I load my long arm. So I'm just going to throw my fabric there for a second. I'm going to move these 2 tops out of the way because I really don't need them right now. And I have a table way out back here. I'm hoping that you guys can at least hear me really good. And when I walk out of the way over there, there's a table. And if I walk around this way, which I'll try not to walk in front of the camera, but that goes around. So both sides go around. The first thing I do, I don't need my ruler base. I'm just going to throw that out of the way. For this project, I'm not using rulers at all. First thing I do is make sure that my snaps are popped open so that I can freely move my bars. And I have a feeling that this is going to be so much in the way. So let me right it to the other side of the frame. and let it sit way over there. Make it easier so that you can see in the frame is, or the machine is in the way. So I have this bar freely moving, and I want to pull, I'm standing in front of my frame. I want to pull my cloth leader towards me, and then I'm going to pick it up and over the top bar that goes there. So this is the top bar and this is the leveler bar. I'm pulling it under the leveler bar and up over the top. When I'm not explaining things, I actually load this frame so much faster. It's 12:43 there. Well, you're on the East Coast. All right. Then this bar right here that I'm lifting, I don't need that bar. That's just to load the quilt top. I 95% of the time never use it. I usually float all tops. But I do use it as a balancing bar for my next step, which is this bar that you see me lifting now. This is the belly bar. As you can see, it hits my belly. What I do is make sure the clips are unsnapped on this, pull out my cloth leader a little, come in with the cloth leader towards inside the quilt, inside the frame throat, and up on top of the other bar on top of itself. Pretty much the same procedure as the back, but on the front. And a lot of people have red snappers and all sorts of like zipper leaders and stuff, which makes this process probably easier. I, on the other hand, pin everything. So yeah, so here's this on here. I have a center mark on the back and a center mark on the front. So what I'm going to do is take my fabric, and I'm going to grab my pins for this part. Take my fabric, and I am going to fold it the long ways because I'm loading it long ways, and fold it in half to find my center. So folding it in half, finding my center. You can either crease it or you can put a pin in it. I'm just going to pop a pin in here real quick because it's flannel and it doesn't really crease that well. So I'm just going to pop a pin in there. So there's my center on that side. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom, put it together, find my center down here as well. And I'm also going to pop a pin in it. Stay. And my pin is nicely in there. So now I can open this whole thing up and place it on top of the bar right here, as well as placing this other piece where I can find my center. Make sure I have my center is way over here. So I'll place my center area on that side and my center area on this side with my backing fabric facing the floor. So it would be right sides down. My fabric is facing the floor. I'm going to line this on here just like that and just let it lay here. Now I'm going to walk over to the back of the frame. I'm hoping you guys can still hear me well. Now I'm going to take this center part and I'm going to take the cloth leader and I'm going to line them together like this. I know you can barely see it, but I'm putting my center on here and I'm lining the edge of the cloth leader and my fabric. When my fabric is the selvage end. So the selvage end is going to actually play a vital role in this by holding it nicely so that I can use less pins. So I'm going to start by putting my first pin in here to hold it about 1/4 inch away from the edge. I'm going to take out my center pin because I don't need it. Hold my center, adjust this side, come over and adjust this side. Everything's laying nice and flat. And now I'm just going to start pinning. Normally I pin a thumb's width apart, but on here I don't have to. I'm going to grab this. Totally just forgot, but I need to be able to see comments. So normally I put my thumb at the end of the pin and then put the next pin in. In this case, because I'm using the selvage, which is playing a vital role in this, I can actually go more than a thumb's length apart and put pins in. because the selvage is very thick and it holds really sturdy, and the cloth leader is a not vinyl, oh my goodness, it's like an outdoor fabric type material, so it's very thick. I can't even think of the word for it. It's hard. It's not like really, really hard, but it's hard. Oh, I can't think of it. It would be something that would be probably used on upholstery or something. It's really thick fabric. So I'm just going to put my pins in here. And unfortunately, I can't show you because we are way over here and I don't know how to use that camera system where I can use one camera and move it around while live. So I'm just sticking them about 1.5 inches apart. It's pretty far apart, but this is going to be such a quick, easy project. Plus, I'm putting it into the selvage, so once it's pinned in, it will be really, really, really sturdy, and it doesn't matter that I'm going so far apart. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Abby. I think I said hi, Vicki, though. I'm outside, so I forget easily. I'm just trying to focus on this. So I'm just lining the selvage end up, sticking my pins in here. I have a little magnetic dish that holds all my pins. For those of you who've seen me do this on Facebook, I've been doing a lot of loading the frame videos in the Facebook group, which some of you have seen. So I figured YouTube deserves one, and I can't record myself on the iPad yet because I have no stand for it. So unfortunately, I had to bring my computer out to do this. All right, so now I'm going to go from the center this way with my pins. And I'm hoping that this is clear enough quality for you guys to see. I mean, it's not perfect, plus we're in the garage. And if the light turns off and it gets dim in the video, you'll know that my hour is up because the light stays on for only an hour, and I'll have to swap to a different light. This one right here gives a halo above the frame, so you wouldn't be able to see me very good. So I'm trying to just avoid using that light right now, at least while the camera is way over there. So now I'm just pinning this back here, going along, putting my pins in 1/4 inch away from the edge, lining up the edge of the selvage with the edge of my cloth leader. I'm just walking down as I do it, one after the other. Like I said, these kind of projects, this loading 2 quilts at once is just going to make this so much easier for me. Get it both done. That way I can list them both for sale at the same exact time as what they are, twinsy quilts. So, and they're super adorable. And the quilting, even though it'll be simple, will be super adorable. And I'm going to mark it down in my book as just 1 quilt, but I'll write that it's 2 in the book. But I'll only take up the space for 1 because I keep kind of like a little booklet that says what I've done on the frame, what I've loaded, how big it is, and what kind of stitching I did on it, and what color I used, in case that person says, hey, what color thread is this? I want to match it for something else, you know? That way I can go back and say, oh, well, I used cream number 4445, you know what I mean? Plus, it helps me if I have to fix something. I can know what color. Although I've never had to fix anything, so quilt-wise. All right, so the back is on. Now I'm going to walk around to the front, right here in front of you. All right, and then I'm going to, this magnetizes here. All right, so now I'm going to stick my magnet pins right here. I'm going to also adjust this to find the center. Lining my center up, same exact thing. I'm just lining the edge up, and I know you can see this. This edge of this fabric is lining up with the edge of the cloth leader, and then I'm putting the pins in it. So I'm lining it along the edge. So I'm putting my center pin where it needs to be. And then I'll take that first pin out, and I'll start going this way first after I flatten it out a little like this, holding that center so that nothing adjusts. All right, so there's 2. I'm going to go this way first and then come back and go the other way. Again, I'm putting them about 1.5 inches apart. And I cannot see comments because it's way over there. But I could bring it close. Just in case. Nobody's saying anything, so that's okay. I know that you guys know I can't really catch on when I'm too busy like this. And plus I knew that there wasn't going to be very many people watching. But, okay, so. Just running down with my fingers, lining the edges, putting my pins in. And I do have to say here over on YouTube, you know, this process made things a lot easier for me. Even though I have to standing and quilting, I realized again today, free motion quilting, I can do it. I can do just as good as I can long arming, but for some strange reason, I was up earlier and I made a pillow sham and I did free motion quilting on it to match the quilting on the front, you know, on the quilt that it was matching. And yeah, my arms, my shoulders, my hands, everything was killing me. When I use rulers on the long arm over here, when I use rulers, yeah, I do get a lot of pain, arthritic pain in my hands from using rulers. But someday I'll figure out a way to use rulers without the pain. Right now I'll have to deal with it, but this project is not rulers, so I don't have to worry about any additional pain today because I did do a lot today. I've been really busy today, and I'll be busy for a while because I need to get all these done. I have way too many quilts that need to be done, and I need to get them done. All right, one more pin on this side, and then I'm going to go the other way. I'll move this one down just a little. I'm literally putting them every 1.5 inches. So now I'm going to go the opposite way. Am I still here, guys? It says I'm streaming. It says I'm streaming here too. You guys still there? Oh, okay. Hi, Shelly. All right. Like I said, we're in the garage. This is one thing that I can't trust in the garage is my computer internet. But I needed to make this a recording, so I brought the computer with me out here. So I'm just pinning the opposite way now. Out. Otis of error. Well, it looks to be working on my screen. Still working. Still working. We just throw all these pins in, try to get this done. Nice and quickly, like. Because I can quilt these really quick with what I'm doing. I chose something really simple just to get it done. And I'm going to be using cream thread because that's what I have on the long arm right now. And I have a bunch of bobbins rolled for it. So that I don't have to roll any bobbins. I have at least 4 or 5 rolled. I'll roll more if I have to, but I should be able to get it done with what I've started. Looks to still be working. Now you guys got me watching my screen to make sure everything is working properly. All right. 2 more pins and this will be on, and I can show you how I get it rolled up. And 1 more. All right. Now that it is fully pinned, put my pins out of the way right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up, drop it in there. I'm going to pick this up and drop that down in there too. So there's not enough to even hang on the floor. So now it's nicely in there. And what I'm going to do is snap it in, make sure that it's making the snap sound away from me. So that way when I go to roll, it rolls towards me. So now what I'm going to do is roll my hands back and forth, taking all wrinkles and folds. I didn't even press anything. Flannel is really forgiving when it comes to that. So Now I'm just going to roll it towards me, keeping everything nice and flush. Usually I run tension from the top bar, but it's flannel again, so I really don't have to. So I just roll back and forth like this. Making sure that I'm not double rolling right here and everything is staying nice and flush. Just rolling my hands, and it's so good that flannel is soft because it doesn't feel weird on my fingers doing this. All right. Now that that's like that, I'm going to come over here to this bar, and it's still loose. First, I'm going to straighten this out right here because if I don't, it'll have a weird fold in it. And I'm going to roll a little bit to this side right here. And I'm going to stop with the pins about 2 inches from the edge. So it's nice and soft. So my pins are about 2 inches from the bar right here. That way I can run a stay stitch or a, what did I say, stay stitch? Basting stitch all the way from side to side. Next thing, I'm going to take this pole, and it's not heavy, it's just awkward. And I'm going to throw it on the floor because I don't need it. Now I'm going to take my batting, and I'm going to find the shiny side because that's how I know it's right, the correct side facing down. Find the shiny side, and I'm going to find my center. And I know where my center is because that's where the fold is. I'm going to lay the center fold right on here. And some people don't even use batting with flannel, but these are baby quilts, so I'm using batting so that they're nice and soft and very fluffy. Or not fluffy, but I guess the word is plush-like. So I got my batting in here, and I'm just going to let it hang because that's all I need in width. Then I'm going to grab my quilt tops. And this center line right here is going to be my guide on where to lay my tops. So I'm going to put one right here out of the way for a second. And I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to lay it about, I don't know, a 1/2 inch away because I don't need much space in between the two. I'm going to lay it about a 1/2 inch away from this line that I created as my center. And I'm going to make sure that the longwise way, you know, this would be longwise right here. And this would be short way. I'm going to put it where my longwise is going across the frame and the short way is hanging down. I'm going to lay it on here, like I said, about 1/2 inch away from that center line. I'm going to lay it right on here, like so. Keep it nice and flush. Everything's super straight. Put it down just a smidge like this. So I have it about, I don't know, a 1/2 inch away from the selvage as well. It doesn't really need to, as long as I don't run over my pins. I grab the second one. I'm going to put it about a 1/2 inch away from the edge, from this middle mark on this side. So make sure it's nice. Lay it right here. I want them right next to each other in the same row, because once they're basted, I want to be able to just go all the way across, like treat it as if it's a nice full quilt. Not just a little. Just a little. Flatten it out. Make sure everything's nice and straight, because I have no center mark now. The sides have their own center now. Got to be careful. My batting is sticking to these quilts very good. Everything is nice and flush. Let's lift this one just a little. Get it about there. Lift it because it's sticking to the batting. Right about there. Fix that side. Now they are right next to each other, and I can run a basting stitch all the way down. After I change my empty bobbin out and put in a nice fresh one. I still have to put my side clamps on too, but for now I'm just going to put the long arm over the quilts. Just kind of let it go over that way. I'm going to take my clips, my clamps, and I know it's weird for me being over here, and I'm going to put one clamp towards this way, one clamp towards this way, and I'm going to just tighten them up and put them in the snap. I'm also going to bring the quilt back this way just a little bit so I can see better. Let it come this way, put that right over. Again, these are my clamps, my bungee clamps. I'm going to put one towards about right here. Snap it in. I'm not pulling tight at all. One about right here. And I just snap them in. They're not tight. Hi, Misty. All right, hold on. My goodness, we're in the middle of one heck of a storm. The lightning nearly gave you a heart attack. Oh, that sucks, but it's awesome. No heart attacks for lightning. Sandy, oh no idea. Hope everything works out and don't go out with electricity. That would be bad. But he says, wow. I said hi, Misty, didn't I? Okay, hey, night owls. It sounded like an explosion, made me jump out of my skin. I love when the lightning does that, but you got to be careful because lightning sets off not only car alarms, but it can crack windshields. If it is cracky enough, the lightning, or I mean the thunder, if it is cracky enough, we've known it to crack windshields, which is not very good, but it does set off a lot of car alarms. It makes a lot of things vibrate. And these quilts are covered in thread. That's what I get for laying them on the floor in my quilt room. I'm just going to comb them real quick. My handy dandy little comb thing. Most of these threads I'm going to have to pluck out because there's a lot of loose ones. It's kind of annoying. I don't like to run over them too much because then I get stuck in a stitch. But I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. I'm just going to pull the excess off. All right. Now, see, pulls all the extra threads off. Now what I'm going to do, bring my machine over, and let's see if we can come closer now that we're at this part. Careful. Oh, it's going to shake and vibrate for a second, guys. Let's see if I can get you right here on the end. I know this is a lot of light. Let's see if I can dim it down just a little. There we go. Is that better? That should be a little bit better. I know you can't see exactly right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm nicely threaded. Everything's in good. I'm going to put my machine on baste, and I'm going to change it to a 1/2-inch basting stitch. I'm going to use my needle down button, put my, all that shifted my quilt. Hold on a second. All that using my thingamabobber shifted the quilt in the wrong direction. Everything's nice and straight, but it shifted that end down a little. That's all I get for doing it without basting first. All right, so I'm going to bring this back over here. I'm going to drop my needle down right here, 1/4 inch away from the edge. Right there. Bring my bobbin up through that hole. Drop it back down right there. Tack it down. And now I'm going to baste stitch this whole top. Okay? Let's see real quick before I start doing that. Linda. Hi, Linda. Okay. How's everyone doing? I'm good. Everyone else should be good except for being scared out of their skin from super cracking thunder and lightning. Tornado warnings till 5 a.m. Going to be a long night. Where are you at to have tornado warnings, Ampy? Doing pretty good, Linda. How about you? Where are you at? Okay. 20 minutes from MO. That's Missouri, right? Okay, I saw that there were storms east of me. Texas Panhandle. Had knee surgery on Wednesday, but just got home today. But I'm doing okay. But is Susie hurting? Be safe, y'all. I'm keeping prayers for you. I'm sorry you had surgery. Well, I'm glad you had surgery because now your knee should work properly, right? And you could get to walking on it. So didn't they make you walk on knee surgery within like 3 days? So I know my aunt just had hip surgery recently, and they told her, get up and walk. You know, she had her hip replaced, and they make you walk right after, unless it's some kind of other surgery. But all right, now I'm going to baste. So I'm just going to hold this right here at the end and go all the way from one side to the other. And if it looks like my hands are close to the needle, they are. But I'm just doing a basting stitch, 1/4 inch away from the edge along the whole entire top. Trying to keep everything nice and aligned. Nice and straight. Nice and straight, nice and perfect. It really is this simple. Just don't run your fingers over it. Not a good thing. So now that I got to this end of just quilt number 1, I'm going to come down and baste this bottom right here along this, and then I'm going to come back up this second one and baste that and go across the top. So I'm going to come down the side right here. Again, it's just a 1/4 inch stitch away from the edge or thereabouts. I try not to go away from it. Now I'm going to come over, crossing the fabric to this other one and go up, which is not recommended, but when you're doing 2 quilts, it's okay. Just hold it nice and flat. Keep everything super flush. Come to the top and go across the top. And here we go. Across the top of this one now. Kind of shifted a little because I did that, but it's easy to adjust. It's a baby quilt, so it's going to be really easy to do. My buttons to turn everything off and on are really right next to my fingers at all times, so if anything, I could emergency shut it off if I can, feel. Alright, so I'm getting to this side now. Now I'm just going to come down this side, break thread, and come down the other front original side. So now it looks like one whole quilt. So let's readjust this. Nice and flat. Come down the side. Everything nice. Break my thread. And then now that I can cross with ease, I'm not grabbing or snipping against anything. I'm going to come up and snip that away. I have a bad habit of throwing all the threads on the floor out here. I tried a couple quilts in a row of just taking my thread and making a pile up here. And then the pile gets jumbled up and then I'm moving it around and yeah. It's just a hassle for me. So I just throw it on the ground and clean it up later. That's what we have a shop vac for. All right, so my thread is out of the way. Now I'm going to come down this side and baste this side real quick. And I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a tug because I want it to stay nice and flat. Not much of a tug, but just a little. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it right there for a second, and I'm going to go down to the other end, and I'm going to give it 2 snaps. So 3 that way, and 2 this way. There we go. Okay. All right. So now it's just a little bit tighter. Just a little bit. So now I have my thing set at 10 stitches per inch, and it's idling at 3%, which means the needle and stuff goes up and down really slowly all by itself anyway. Sometimes I turn it on the precision, but I like idle better. Precision, it stops, but sometimes it doesn't always stop with the needle down, which is kind of frustrating. So is this a Grace frame? No, it is a King Quilter frame. I don't even think it has a name besides King Quilter. It actually is designed and made for the King Quilter series, which mine is the King Quilter 2 Special Edition, or King Quilter 2 Elite, it says it right here, Special Edition machine. All right, let's see. Yes, tornado hit in Houston at 9:30 tonight. Holy moly, 100,000 people out of power. Yikes. Same day after. Oh, you walked same day after 3 hours, Linda. Wow, that is crazy. Well, heal up, get better. Well, heard anything? I wonder if the storm was in the Gulf. Of course it is. Don't know, Misty, but it's enough storms. Tiff, is this race? Okay, I read all of that. So now I'm just gonna stick this over here out of the way and come up here to this top. And what I'm going to do is attempt to bring the camera even closer so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to try to at least get it about right here without knocking anything over. Okay, if it wiggles, I'm sorry, but I'm trying not to drop my laptop. Let's see how much closer I can get without being in my way. I don't want it in my way. Okay, can you see it now? If I'm blocking anything, I'm hoping that you can still see what I'm doing at least. And I can't turn that other light off, unfortunately. So this should be good right here, guys. I cannot turn this light off or block it of any way. I wish I could, but I can't. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch from one side all the way across both quilts to this side. And then come back to this side. And I don't have to break. I can go back and forth, but I can't go as fast coming back this way. I don't know if it's the machine being designed, but it likes to go from left to right. It doesn't like to go from right to left. I don't know why, but it breaks thread a lot easier when it goes from right to left instead of left to right. So that must be just a machine thing, or maybe the way the mechanics work inside of it. But yeah. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to squiggle a line. Some of them will be big squiggles. Some of them will be little squiggles, but I'm just going to just squiggle the whole entire quilt. And they might be 1 inch apart. They might be ½ an inch apart. They might be not. Just going to have fun with it and squiggle to make it really fast. So here I go. Sometimes I go way too fast. Sometimes I go way too fast and break thread. I gotta learn to pace myself. All right, let's pop that back in there. Oh, it even broke the bobbin. Hold on 2 seconds. Snap it right at the beginning. My bobbin is under here. I can feel with my fingers to get it in the hole. All right, let's re-thread that and slow myself down a bit. So come back just a little bit on top of itself. Tack it down. I'm kind of on the edge anyway on this one. This first stitch. Slowing myself down. I'm going to go from one quilt to the other. And I'm going to stop on this side, and I'm going to put my camera up on the hooker bobber. That way I can see comments up here on my screen. Nope. Stop. 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 All right. Here we go. So now I'm going to attempt to go back this way and hope that it does not break. So I'm just going to... If the lines cross over, I don't care. Just wiggle lining. From one quilt to the other. And it broke thread because that's what it does going back this way. Every time. It may not happen right away, but it does happen. It's one thing I don't like about long arming. It mainly does it on straightaways. If I'm doing some kind of like curve, which takes slowness, it doesn't really break. But if I just keep going, then it'll break. It doesn't take long to rethread either. Okay. I'm just going to pop it back in there. I'm going to pull this bobbin out and then re-find my bobbin again. There, pull it out, tack it off, and slowly go that way again. Slowly, very slowly. I'm going to pull all these threads away before I run them over and stitch them in. I don't want that to happen. I'll probably just break thread and come back to this side every time. I'm going to break this one off real quick too before it gets stuck. See, so I kind of sometimes make a pile right here. All right, so I'm just going to come down. And like I said, if any of the lines that I'm waving on down, if they touch, I don't care. It's meant to just be a look, like waviness, to break up the fact that this is so square, if that makes any sense. So this is how easy it is to use this. Look at this. Well, I'll just use one finger on each side. See this? Just wiggling. This machine literally is the easiest thing ever. So I don't have to, no effort. Barely any effort. Come to this end. I'm going to come down, break thread, and go back to the other side. Start it over, because that's probably my best bet with this whole thing, is just to go from one end back and forth, back and forth. Look at that, just barely doing anything. Break thread, come back to the other side. I'll just go back and forth like this. Probably, it's a lot of thread breakage, but it'll go pretty darn quick, and I'll just have a trail of long ends on this side. I could try to keep them down, but... So again, I'm just wavy lines. And all of my pictures, I'll post finished pictures in the group and on Instagram. service do you pay for it? Services I do have to pay for. But this is a service-free machine, at least it mostly, the most of it. If it has any mechanical problems, it goes to a shop and it's covered for my first 3 years. So in November will hit my first year. Anything like that happens with it or whatever, that's all covered mechanical wise. But if it's just because it's dirty or something, that's for me to clean. Servicing, like, I don't know if they take it apart or whatever they do. I don't know who pays for that because that's a long thing for me to read and find out. I'm pretty sure it's covered for the first year, which is almost over. But everything in here, it's a non-oil machine. We don't oil it. The only thing I put oil on is I put oil on my bobbin casing, not the bobbin casing itself, but the bobbin casing insert part, the female part that it goes in. That gets a little bit on the edge after every other. It's supposed to be after every bobbin change, but I do it after every other because it gets really, really oily down there and it makes a big mess and it's not supposed to be that oily. So I do it with every other change, if that makes any sense. So I actually don't know if that's something I have to pay for or if it's just covered with my warranty for the first 3 years. And for the first 10 years, I think is actually full mechanical replacement coverage. So if anything happens, like I've already had my screen replaced and the whole handlebar system had to be replaced because the handlebar and the screen coincide with each other. Their numbers or whatever, like a garage door opener that's coded to itself. So this is coded to this, just like the rear screen is coded to the rear handles. So I had to get a whole new unit so far, and it was covered. They even paid for me to ship it to Handy Quilter, which is the company that puts these out anyway. So, yeah. This makes this process so easy. I'm going to try to come back that way. Hope that I don't break any thread. You see me putting my finger down. That's holding that seam in between the two together and down so I don't lift it and fold it up. So it went one whole thing without breaking. I'm going to stop it real quick. Pull out those wandering threads that are going to annoy me. So see how simple it is? Back and forth, back and forth. Hold on, I got to hit this something on the screen. It hides the thingy. Let's see. I'm looking into getting one, but need to save some money. That's great. I'm looking forward. Did you look at a computer one? Yeah, but that's $10,000 more. And then all the, like, I can add the computer system to this it's $10,000 more. And like I said, I'm already at $10,000 for this setup. So I would need to wait until I have more and more and more and more, until I start making money. Once I'm in the positive where this is paid off, then I will think about a computer system and do the whole thing again. Just work until it's paid off. So I need to get the quilts in, make the money. But so many people are getting long arms these days, they don't really need a long armor, if that makes any sense, you know. And a lot of you guys are welcome to use me, but you have to ship it to me. You have to ship me your backing, your batting, and if you have a specific thread color that you want to use in glide thread, you'd have to send me that. If not, and you just let me choose, I can choose from my stash of thread. But you have to pay the shipping cost. But I'm still cheaper than a lot of East Coast places, that's for sure, because I read that it's a lot of people say that it's 15 cents a square inch. I don't charge that. I charge 2 cents a square inch, and from 5 to 15 cents a square inch for custom show quilting, which is the fancy stuff you guys have seen in my pictures and stuff. That kind of quilting costs more. But general edge to edge, like what I'm doing right now, is 2 cents a square inch. You know, and I'll do whatever. If you want simple, or you want some of the designs that I already know how to do, you can't choose from a computer, but this is how it works. So again, you know, if you want to get your own, they have payment plans. I would say go with a cheaper one as opposed to like Gamble and stuff. I would go with Handy Quilter, King Quilter, even there's a bunch of other brands. Not Brother, is it? Baby Lock has a long arm as well, the Baby Lock Jewel, and there's a couple other ones. But yeah, I would go with the cheaper brands because you get the whole setup for $10,000 or less, you know, and or buy a used machine if you want Gamble or something. There's listings, but you got to go out of state to get it unless it's local. It's rare someone gets rid of their Gamble machine. But I passed up on one. We found a Gamble with a Statler stitcher, and it was a 2013 machine, so it wasn't that old. And they wanted it was like $15,885. Like, we didn't have the cash to pay that. I needed the payment plan. But seriously, the whole Gamble Statler stitcher and everything for $15,885. But it was out of state. We would have had to drive to, I think it was Texas. That was the one. That was the one in Texas. We would have had to drive to Texas with a U-Haul truck to pick it up. So, you know, the cost is depending on what you want to spend. This was all shipped to me, and we put it together. So, and it's not that hard. It's pretty simple. The directions are there. Just need some manly help. Vibrating something on my table, and I don't know what. I think it's my iPad. Well, not my iPad, but the iPad that I'm borrowing. Yep, that's what it is. Every time I get to this side, I hear it. Okay. Back to what I was doing. So yeah, see, this takes a lot of the, this takes a lot of the time out of everything, and it allows a lot more fun, let me see if I can't hold this in where you can see some of the quilting real quick. Let's see how well I can get this to work, guys. If it vibrates or wiggles, I'm so sorry. Can you see the quilting? Let's tip it away. So you see those squiggly lines? I'm not sure because I can't tell, but it's just squiggly lines. They're really not touching. There's like 1 or 2 times that the squiggle touches another squiggle, but I think it looks really cool. And it's considered medium quilting. Honestly, it's not really that heavy because I'm not really filling in those spaces in between, but that's what I'm doing. So let's put this back up on the stand. Plug the little thingy back in and go back and forth. So this would take a few hours if I was to do it, you know, in the house. Here, it won't take that long. I keep stopping the top, but I'm going a little bit slower. No. Okay, so look, sometimes this happens. Unfortunately, King Quilter has stopped. So even with a new screen, I'm still having issues. And I don't know why it does this. So now I have to reprogram what I want. Because that's supposed to be 10. That's 65. All right, back to this. So see, now I'm back to my regular. It just randomly stops. So my old screen just turned off and it never turned back on. It was off for like 2 weeks before I got the new one. This one now keeps going to, I think it's just, I don't know, the machine's screen. I think it's the tablet or the program that they use. It's like any tablet. You know, I can plug into here and update, you know, all the features. And I can also use this as a music player. So if you pay money, extra money, you can download the program on like any tablet, but it'll help allow me to use Pandora, and it has a jack so that I can put headphones in it and all sorts of stuff. But it's like, I think it was like $50 more for the program for this specific screen itself to run all those programs. But it plugs in with a USB and I can download it, whatever I want onto it, just like any other tablet, except this doesn't have an app store. This just runs off of the King Quilter Android app itself, if that makes sense. They have their own app for their own tablet. There's nothing else on here. Like there's time and date and stuff, but all right, just thought I'd let you guys know that even it's not being in the garage or anything. I think it's just the problem with the setup. All right, so I'm just going to keep going back and forth just for a few more minutes, and then I'll let you guys go so that I can do my thing and go fast. Faster than I'm going. See the faster I go? I don't know if you guys heard that beep, but that beep is the stitch regulator telling me to slow down. So I'm going to come back the other way slowly. So this way I have to go slow. The other way I can go fast. That's where my threads are great. Come right here and stop, turn the camera up. All right, guys, so this is how I load 2 quilts at the same time. They are not big quilts, but you can do this with 2. I have 130 something total inches that I can hook up to, And to tell you the truth, let's measure it right here, right now, from cloth leader end to cloth leader end, how many inches I actually have. If I can get it to stay right there at the end. This is just the cloth leader grabbing. I know it's 136, I think. Nope, it's 132. 131, 132-ish inches I can do in width. So I can do 2 throw quilts on here side by side in their length form. Just like this, but in their length form, I can do 2 throws at the same exact time. Or I can do a 120-inch by 120-inch king with no problem. The only thing about the big, huge ones is that they end up on the floor and I lay a ton of sheets down and they get tripped over easily when I lay the sheets on the ground. Because I try to protect whatever quilt that I'm working on, unless it's something that is like browns and stuff, because it gets dirty on the floor. So I lay sheets down mostly. When I do little things that don't touch the floor, I don't have to worry about it. But anytime I have something that hangs on the floor, I always lay sheets or one big, huge blanket down. So just thought I'd let you guys know that. All right. Are you still able to use it when the screen doesn't work? Yes, because I have a rear screen. Now the front handlebars takes a few minutes. So when I press power, if I don't have anything on this screen up here, let me turn it a little. If there's nothing on this screen up here and I press power, it's a delay. So right now, if I press power, it turns right on. You can hear that sound. If I went to the back side and pressed power, it's right away as well. But when this screen is out and I didn't have a screen for a while, I had to press power like 5 times before it turned on because there was a delay in the front handlebar reading through the computer part of the machine itself. The machine is computerized. Between the front and the rear, there was a delay telling the rear screen, telling the front handlebars what setting, blah, 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 turn off, turn on, needle up, needle down. So it was a hassle. And a lot of times I was like the big quilt that I just did, the big, huge, huge Mariner Star. I did a lot of it by just walking around back, making sure I changed my setting, walking back around front, then pressing start like 500 times before it actually turned on. So when this doesn't work, it's just a little bit slower, but you can still quilt. You just have to go to the back. Now, if you lose both screens, you're screwed because it won't work. You can't do anything. And when I first got the frame, they didn't even have a screen. It was on back order. They didn't have a screen or front handlebar. So I did all my quilting from the back when I first got this. That's why it took me a while to introduce you guys to my new long arm, because I didn't have a way to even show you guys how I was quilting, because everything was being done from the back side of the machine. So I really had to get used to it. And then when the new screen, the front screen and all this stuff came, I had to get used to a whole new screen. The back one is easy. You just press menu. So yeah. And I've quilted so much. I'll tell you guys this real quick. Between these 2 quilts, I've already put 15,000 stitches. Go. Oh my goodness, what button is it? It's not that one. It's one of these. I don't even think this one has it. Hold on, let me go around the back and tell you. The back one has it. This third. Give me 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so since I've had this machine, I've put 6,098,384 stitches. 6,984,348 stitches. Now that is a lot of stitching. Yeah, that is a lot since I've had this machine in 1 year. And some people probably put more. I've only done 30, 40, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43 quilts. 44, 45 quilts since I've had this frame itself. But this year I've done more because I've done all the ones in the house too. So just using this machine itself, that's how many. And then I've done all those little practice ones. I load a lot of practice stuff on too. So that's where all that amount in stitching comes from. So yeah. All right, guys. Went across the United States and back in about 15 minutes. Right? It's a lot of stitches. Yes, it had. I thought it was on the front, but the front just gives me the amount of stitches per this project. So the machine itself, in all this recording, which has taken an hour and 6 minutes, and I've been quilting for probably 30, which is whatever, the machine is actually ran for 11 minutes and 16 seconds. That's the rest of it's me just standing here talking. So technically, I've only spent 11 minutes and 16 seconds on this with 15,325 stitches. So right now, where it is sitting. So, I mean, for 2 quilts so far. So, yeah, it times it. And you can also set timers. It has a calculator. It has, I don't even know what that is. Well, there's the setting. Maybe that tells me. No, that doesn't. No, that doesn't. No, that doesn't. Nope, that doesn't do it either. Nope. Nope. None of these buttons tell me how many stitches are on this machine. How funny. But you can set an alarm, a timer, and it also has a bobbin timer that tells you, or not timer, but sensor to tell you when the bobbin is low. So yeah. Hi, Dewana. You came on late because I'm getting ready to turn it off now. Unless you guys want to just watch me go back and forth a bazillion times, let me know now and I'll just keep it on. I'll keep it running. Or else I'll just get off of here. But you guys pretty much know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm going back and forth, but if I don't sit and chit chat the whole time, I mean, you guys, we can stay. If I don't sit and chit chat the whole time, then I can keep going back and forth and get it done faster. So Not Normal wants me to stay. Okay, I'll just stay on, guys, if you don't mind. Let me put this up here on the holder. You guys could just watch. I'll tip the camera back down just a little. And you just watch me go back and forth. I wish I could make it closer, but I can't. Like, seriously, cannot get any closer than that. And then the shine from the machine, I can't control that either. I don't know how to get rid of that lighting. All right, I'm just going to go back and forth then. And the light shut off, which means I've been recording for an hour. I'm doing all that and I have no thread. Adding additional lighting in the room can sometimes help. Oh, lighting for what? For in here? Notice I broke thread going the wrong way. This does not like to go that way. Another thing that this machine has, maybe it might help you guys see better too. That light will turn itself back on soon. Hopefully. Sometimes it stays off for about 15 minutes. Another thing that might help you guys see, I don't know how well, give me a second to rethread this because like I said, going backwards from right to left is not what this machine likes to do. I'm going to pull this bobbin thread up, grab the one, snip the other, line myself back up and slower go back this way. I need to just take it just a little slower. It's at least going this way. So I'm going to stop it for a second. I'm going to change out the lights. Let's see. Lighting. Come on. There we go. Let's see how well you can see with this light on. That's my UV light. It has a UV light on it. Can you see that? And it is for sewing glow-in-the-dark threads, but it's actually working for this color, so I'm just going to leave the UV light on and see how much more you guys can see when I quilt away. I clip these threads before I run them over. Like I said, I'm trying to make a pile. Let's see. Brightness flare from the machine light. Well, it's on this one now, so is that a lot better now? I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but I guess you kind of can. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going now. Oh. All right, Luana, have a good night. It really upped the contrast and can see the individual blocks. Are you able to see it okay? I can't tell, but you guys can. So what happens is sometimes the thing rolls and it gets stuck. So I just grab another bobbin because I ran out. Load it, and I check my tension every bobbin. I'm not going to oil it right now because that means I have to play with it on the edge to get the excess oil off. I should be fine. I'm only doing straight lines. I'm going to check underneath real quick to make sure my tangle didn't yank anything funky. So I just kind of lift it up and look underneath. And there's no tangles. There's no knots. So I'll just pop it back down into a little bit before where it ended. Pull the new bobbin up. Tie it off. Take a couple stitches. And I would totally, there we go. Stop right there. Trim this before I come back the other way. And keep going. Never good. Happens going back that way a lot. As you can tell, it only happens going back that way. The only thing about stitching, it's worse with straight stitch. This curvy one isn't breaking as much, but if I try to straight stitch, just one straight line from one side to the other, always breaks. So I have to slow myself down. Come on. Give me the thread. There you go. It's a little bit darker for me to see under this lighting. But this is the lighting that I would use for the glow-in-the-dark thread. All right, let's see where it ended off right here. Hold on. I don't have enough lighting. I got to turn it on for a second. Just so that I can see. And stop. Okay. I just use my needle up and down to follow along that. All right. There we go. So slower. So not normal. Okay, hold on. Love the storm. Gonna take a nap. Night, everyone. Good night, Dewana. Good night, Aunt B. Thank you for this video. It's like getting a private demo. Haven't seen this brand of machine before. Really appreciate all your input. All right, thank you, So Not Normal. I'm glad you got to join. Good night. Please keep the lighting at what works best for you. Oh, well, I can see either way because I'm just doing squiggly lines. So good night, though. Take care. And I'll see you guys next video. Now I got a tangle in my bobbin. Ooh, look at that. That's a big tangle. So I pick everything out with my fingers. Nice big tingle in the bobbin. Check my tension real quick and it's good. Trim off all that excess funky thread. Pop the thing back in. Write my stitch down. Alright, I gotta stop breaking threads and breaking stuff. It slows me down. Are you kidding me? Okay, I gotta stop going backwards that way. So in a few minutes, let me just do this, fix this, and do one more pass, and then I'm gonna get off of here because this is, if I have to pay attention to two things, for some reason it just keeps doing this. It does not do this to me, trust me. Only when I go back that way. So I need to put myself at a speed to where that doesn't happen. The only way I can do that is if I could see better. I mean, I can see really good, but not perfect. But I want you guys to see too, but I don't want this to be a forever long video, even though it is, like So Not Normal said, a nice, great preview of the machine that not very many people have heard of. It's a nice machine, great machine, in fact, but it's like any long arm. They all have their issues. This one is like any, and it doesn't like to go from right to left, as well as my screen problems that just randomly happen. But that's easily fixed by calling the company. How are you using poly? Yeah, I'm using Glide. It's 40, hold on. 40 weight Glide. I'm actually using the color linen. I thought I had the color cream up here, but I guess I have the color linen up here. This is the best one for my machine. The machine loves this one the best. The tension never gets screwed up. I mean, it does, but it's very, very rare. Very rare. Once I get the tension set, I can change the thread out a bazillion times and not have a problem. The only thing, every once in a while, I can tell when I have two different color bobbin threads running at the same time, like say a red bobbin thread and a black thread. Sometimes it's noticeable, but it's very rare again. This machine likes this thread. See, yep, it doesn't want to go backwards. It's starting to have issues. It's not the thread, it's just that the machine doesn't like to do that. It does it with any thread, but it always is from right to left every time. It's a good thing it's easy to thread this thing. It just takes a second, but it's not hard. And there's no directions on the machine how to thread it. It tells you in the book, but once you get used to it, it's like second nature, just like it would be with any other machine. It uses different needles than other machines as well, so you cannot mistake that one, which needle goes to what machine. Because these ones have it's a completely round tip. There's no lip on these needles at all. There's no flat side. Longarm needles are way different. And they seem to be a lot more expensive. Oh, the light came back on. Told you it would come back on. And it did it while I was still here. But yeah, Glide is a poly wrapped poly. So it's a polycore poly thread. Polycore poly wrap is how it's said. Which is what it said when I bought this machine. That was one of the threads that it said ran on it the best anyway. It was polycore poly wrap. I am going to go one more time and then get off of here. And it broke. Let me fix it and then sew that to the end and then go. Every time. I don't even think it's a speed thing. I just think it does not like to go from left or right to left. I think it's just all machines are made that way because when I used the handy quilters at the shop and I played with the gamma machines that I played with and everything else, they all are the same. They just 100% do not like to go from right to left. All right, let me pop this up real quick. Finish this little area off. And I'm going to leave it right here. All right, guys. All right, so Let me read the comments. Thank you again. We appreciate you sharing your time. Oh, I love to share my time with you guys. If I could record my whole life, I probably would. Minus anything that's bad or nude or bathrooms or, things like that. And I wouldn't really need to record sleeping either because I really don't do that. If I did, you guys would see how quick burst sleeping actually happens. Anyways, thank you for joining me, everyone. Don't forget, if you are new to my channel and want to see more once I get to 1,000 subscribers, you got to help me get there. I will actually be able to do this live from a better quality camera than my old laptop. So help me get to those 1,000 subscribers, guys. Don't forget to like my videos, share my videos, and I already said subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Hope you all had a great Sunday, and hope you all have a really good week since tomorrow is the dreaded Monday. Bye.